evening to our fellow cherished viewers. I don't know where you are listening to me from. This is TopAfric in Hamburg, Germany, and I'm your presenter or your host, Otabil Jr. Today is another day, the day the Lord has made, and we have to be glad and happy in it. I keep on saying one thing, that everybody is a politician. People believe that they are not politicians because they are not into active politics. But the Biameka said that is not true. The fact that you live in a country, the fact that you were born to a country, you are a politician. Because adibia ekosu or mining, it has an effect on you. So definitely you are a politician. And then if everything is reduced, definitely you're going to enjoy it. If everything increases, you're going to enjoy it. And every human being or everybody has an iota of politics in him. Today is another day. I have in the studios Kofi from the New Patriotic Party. Good evening, Kofi. The NDC man Charles is not here with me. Charles is indisposed at the moment, and I think basically he's going to join next week. And Charles is not with me, so today I'm going to have a good conversation with Kofi. Kofi is the communication director in Hamburg, Germany for the New Patriotic Party. He was a former president of TESCON. So basically, Kofi has been in MPP for some time now, and he has been a part of us for some time now. In the I'm going to sit and I'm going to talk with Kofi. And then there's going to be a hearty chat because Charles is not with me yet. Charles Ibadia is going to be a hit and a hit. But since Kofi's on I'm going to have a healthy chat with him. Kofi, good evening.
Good evening, Notable. Say Sure. In the world of politics, and over the weekends, a lot of things have actually transpired. And I am glad that I am here this evening, so that even though I invest my body on the left, because there's unity, there's diversity in unity. You understand? And but it's all good if he's not here. I mean, we can have the conversations from the perspective of the New Patriotic Party and from you as a radio presenter. So I'm really glad to be here. But then again, I want to say a very big congratulations to the New Patriotic Party fraternity around the globe, and for our solidarity that we've shown to the venerable chairman of our party, Bernard Nchibusiakun, during his time of persecution. Today he's out, and indeed democracy has won. So a big congratulations to every NPP member around the globe, and we will continue to fight for the rule of law and democracy to rule our nation. Thank you, Utabo.
Thank you, Kofi, and thank you to our fellow listeners. I have TopAfric. You're streaming live from Hamburg, Germany. You can catch us on our Facebook page, TopAfric, on our YouTube page, TopAfric, Radio TopAfric. Now, you can send your messages through, and I'm going to read them. You can send your messages through my TikTok account, and I'm going to read them to wherever you can find us. You can send your messages across, and I'm going to read it. Kofi, next are on strike.
Yeah.
I was following the news throughout the week. And let me Minister for what is it?
Employment and Labor Relations.
No, Minister for Health. Minta Kando say they've tried engaging the nurses. Okay. To the extent that nurses call strike. Now, the head of the nurses no, they are all out of the country, so they have nobody to engage. Into nurses are on strike. And then I meet one of the guys who was saying that what is the letter about to back, but he was giving the nurses or my nurses no warning. Say, "Well, we need more back now. They are going to crash you because in Pennsylvania, candidate and they are suffering." What is your take on that?
Okay, so thank you very much, Otabo, once again for giving me the opportunity. Now, before I bring my submission on that, I would like to see good to some few people.
Okay.
my boss, Eric Ofosu-Asonade, currently is the National TESCOM coordinator.
Okay.
And when the good Lord grants us the will, the upcoming elections of the New Patriotic Party, he will be contesting, and I know by the special grace of God that he will be winning the next Ashanti Regional Youth Organizer.
Okay.
He is in the person of Eric Ofosu-Asonade. Boss, wherever you are, I say good to now, and there.
Eric Kofi campaign amount.
Oh yes.
So you have to get to Kofi and get to us.
All right, sure. So with the issue of the nurses being on strike, I think that in every industry, there's a very thin line between the employer and the employee. You understand? And almost all the laws in Ghana, if you do a little bit of HR, I did a little bit of HR. If you do a little bit of HR, you know that the employees have the upper hand. You understand? Okay. The laws of Ghana give the employees the upper hand. But then with the case of our health professionals, you see, nowadays, the enemies we face, they are not visible.
Okay.
You understand? The enemies we face, they are not visible. So they are at the forefront. They are at the front lines. So as a nation, we shouldn't politicize this issue. Okay. You understand? This is about health. This is about our well-being as a people. So if the nurses are demanding that they want better conditions of service, I think whatever it is that their demands are, the government should sit down and then reason with them. You understand? And then I also plead with the nurses that they should also temper justice and mercy with justice a little bit. You understand? Because the government has a lot of issues to deal with, and all of them requires the very swift attention of the government. So you can't say that, okay, fine, it is true that these guys are at the forefront. So the government should actually make all the resources available for them, for only the nurses and the midwives do. But then they are at the forefront because of late the enemies that we fight, our enemies, they are not visible. I remember when COVID came and then...
When you say the enemies are not visible, what do you mean?
I mean, see, COVID COVID was our enemy. Was COVID visible?
It wasn't.
Of course, you understand. So these people are at the forefront. Should another outbreak, emergency come,
so right you mean now, to say that if there is another outbreak, of course,
okay, because they are at the forefront of the war. You understand? Okay. When somebody is being rushed to the hospital, when somebody is going to deliver a baby, when somebody is sick and is in need of critical attention, these guys are at the forefront.
Sure.
So as a nation, we need to pay so much attention to these people. You understand? Okay. Currently, as I sit here, I don't know what their demands are, but then I know that in every recognizable institution, in every nation, the employee has the right to take an industrial action. You understand? If the conditions of service that were set by the employer are not being met. You understand?
Okay.
So whatever it is the conditions of service are, I think that the government, the Honorable Minister, Kwabena Minta-Kando, should pay very key attention to that particular sector.
Now, Kwabena Minta-Kando, because people also believe that Kwabena Minta-Kando is not competent. Problems there because I confirm not teaching hospital.
Of course.
CEO now.
Yeah.
Now the guy was doing a good job.
Of course, we all know that.
And before we realize, Kwabena Minta-Kando has changed the guy. Yeah. Look at what happened at Tamale Teaching Hospital. Yeah. And people believe that, and I'm saying Kwabena Minta-Kando, dining hall prefect, as he said.
But I think he has no experience in health. That is well established.
Okay.
Yeah, he has no experience in health.
To your knowledge, to your
But you see, I can't assess. I'm being objective here.
Okay.
You understand? I don't want to assess the impact of a minister in 6 months.
Okay.
You understand? But then some of the decisions that he has made, I don't think they were rational.
Okay.
You understand? You can't go to a hospital like Tamale Teaching Hospital and then sack the technocrats. The person who was going to school to learn medicine, hospital administration, then you sack him on basis of what? Because he's a politician. You see, health is something that shouldn't be politicized. You understand? But then we live in a country where everything is politicized. So that is one problem at the other time. But then I don't think that you can use 6 months to assess his impact as a minister of health. You know, because when we left government, all the necessary steps, all the necessary procedures, everything that was required by the health minister was actually in place by the previous government. So it's too early to assess his impact as a health minister. And speaking about he being a dining hall prefect, you know, Kokwajima Menu.
Yeah, Kokwajima Menu.
He was a previous health minister before Okoboy became. Sure. He is a chartered accountant.
Okay.
But then he was placed at the health ministry because another Nanko Akufo-Addo realized that the issue at the health sector isn't knowledge, but then it's finance. You understand? So,
Okay.
I mean, regardless of his background, I really don't think that should be the case. But then he has technocrats, he has academics, he has intellectuals around him that will advise him to take certain
Intellectuals is
decisions.
on you more.
That is the
Because
point.
my problem with Ghana, they say politicians now are high.
Of course.
What do you say? Because if health, nanka me be lose obi they say former minister of education. Yeah, Luchum. Luchum was an education person.
Of course.
And you could see say Adebia, but he was the first minister of education. If my memory serves me right, me who said what classroom okuta chalk. And as a marker
I think Professor Jenano Bukwatman
also did the same. Definitely, those people know more knowledge. It was yeah. It helps the country more than some politics in Tinia within MPP, NDC. Sorry, don't we have people like health experts?
Dr. Amwako, National Minister.
So why? I mean, believe that those things should be swapped.
But you see,
Obi Ankoye expert, no, I call health.
You see, the problem is that when you assess a sector's problem for a ministry, and then you as an individual might think that you need a technocrat to go and fix that problem. But then what the leader foresaw was that maybe the problem there is not about a health expert.
Like if you have no problem. Because
you understand my point?
I don't think they knew the problems there.
No, you see, my point is that what I'm trying to say is that you don't necessarily need somebody who is an expert in a particular sector to succeed there.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
You have to be a team player. That is why you have people you work with. You understand? So you have the people you work with, the team, the board, the technical advisors. Everybody is there.
Okay.
And then you set your vision in motion.
Why on administrative head?
Basically,
okay.
You understand. So that, but I believe basically ministers are administrative heads. Basically.
Yeah, sure.
Of course.
Sure.
So that is why you have the people there. So you need that is why I agree with you. You need not to fight with the technocrats.
Okay, you need them there to help you succeed.
Of course. You need not to fight with the technocrats because they know the job in total. You understand? You are just an administrative head. Do this, do that. No. So the actual job is done by the technocrats who are there. You understand my point? Well, my man was a chartered accountant.
Sure.
He knew nothing about health. But then he was one of the most successful health ministers ever in our country.
Okay.
You understand my point? So you need to work together with the technocrats. You don't need to fight them. That is why I'm saying that some of his decisions were not rational because you can't go to Tamale Teaching Hospital and say that this person has done this, so I'm sacking him. You understand? They've kept the pharmaceutical director, Amada or something.
Yeah.
The NDC has kept that person in her. She was appointed by Nana Dankwa.
Sure.
But then because she's a technocrat, she knows how to do the job.
And so now MPP for all problems, they say, no. Say, Obia, Akufo, appointed wa, Mahama Bar, that's the edge, man. Not just say you worked against them.
I mean, of course, here we are trying to be objective because health is not something you should play politics with.
Okay.
You understand my point? And so, if the person knows how to do the job, especially this Confanochi CEO, I don't agree with the decision of the government or the health minister to sack him because the guy is good at what he does. So, if it is a new political party in power and then he is serving to the goodwill of the people, why then should he be sacked? You understand my point? So, if Otabel is doing something that is good, it is serving the needs of the community because the decision of government, it means that Bayoko Okuku should be sacked. So that is a culture that is something we are actually fighting against as a country. Government is continuity. So if somebody is good at something, let him do whatever he or she can.
Okay.
You understand? Unless he has displayed signs of gross incompetence, that is when you can actually sack the person.
Okay.
You understand? But if I have knowledge in something and then I'm doing what is right and then what is within the sectors of the law, you shouldn't sack me just because of politics. You understand my point?
Okay.
That is what we are lacking as
a nation.
As a nation, the civil service and the public service has to be independent of the political jurisprudence.
Get rooted to your seat. This is TopAfric in Hamburg, Germany, and I'm your servant, Otabil Jr. And let me Kofi Nkwan think more because Charles from the NDC is not with me here yet. And let me Kofi a one-on-one talk. I'm going to push him a little bit. And,
pushing me,
and I know and I know Kofi can do the work. Kofi, let's move to E to D.
Okay.
One of the things that Emma ye too Akufo-Addo efri so. Hey,
Yes,
now
sure,
people
sure.
fought e-levy.
Of course.
I mean, you call internet, so everybody was fighting e-levy.
Of course.
And true to Muhammad's word, Obaye will repeal
E-levy.
E-levy.
Yeah, that's true.
No, Enra. All that we heard was, Omudi, your friend is saying, D-levy ba.
Aye.
And before we realize, you're passing crime run now, you're passing, man. It has started working. And yet, at that day, being unconformed, that day, and I say, they have their country at heart. Because I have a lot of questions. I would have had a lot of questions for Charles today on this D-levy because I've done a lot of research on that. Me personally, I did finance or university. So when it comes to things like this, I have a lot of interest in it.
That is very true. I think I've said it so many times, and I'm going to say it categorically again, that the only political party in Ghana that has the nation at heart is the New Patriotic Party.
Okay.
None other party. Now, before the 2024 elections, we all saw how the NDC spoke. Hey, levy aba, musika, between tax, and we all saw the commentary that Attoforsen gave. He was specific. He said that you don't need to increase taxes or you don't need to bring up taxes to generate revenue. Those were the words of Attoforsen.
Yeah.
Now, in all of these things, the way and the manner within which the bill was introduced to Parliament.
Okay.
You see, with us, with e-levy, the government had to allow the MPs go to their constituencies, do town hall meetings, and sensitize the public about the need to bring a new levy in order for us to develop the country. Now, look at this current government. Look at what they did.
Back door.
10 o'clock, people were sleeping at Forcing and certificates of urgency. You see, they were trying to trigger Ghanaians. You submitted a budget in March. You could have added the changes in the bill to the budget. But then because they knew they were repealing e-levy and the betting tax, they just wanted to ride on the hype and the goodwill of the Ghanaians. Oh, we've repealed the e-levy. And then later come back in June and then introduce another bill under the certificate of urgency. That it is urgent we pass this bill without telling the Ghanaian people, without consulting anybody, and without giving a shit about what anybody cares, and then you went to Parliament in order to pass the bill. Now, this is is this a political party that has the country at heart?
Oh, say Bia, people also are saying that Enam say dollar and euro rate no conform. Foreign inflows no. And so at it. Into foreign inflows no so at no.
Okay.
Sika eba abansem no. Eswati.
Okay.
And Omar repealing e-levy.
Okay.
So they needed to sustain the economy.
Okay.
So what they have to do is to just bring this D-levy through the certificate of agency. Now they are sustaining.
But you see, me,
economy will be collapsing.
Me, I don't have a problem because campaign is different from reality.
Sure.
You understand? When you campaign and then when you are in power, there are two different things. You understand my point? But the way and manner within which the bill was brought to Parliament, that is why I have a problem. If you are going to rob me in the face.
Okay.
You understand my point? Akufo-Addo said, okay, fine. COVID has hit. Our inflows have depleted. So we need another tax. But then first, let us consult the people first. But this government, what did they do? They passed through certificates of agency backdoor. If it wasn't for a marking in Parliament, there wouldn't have been a reading of the bill in Parliament. It was a minority leader who said, okay, what is this? The finance minister and the member of Parliament must read it to the hearing of the House. If it wasn't for that case, because they have super majority, they would have used that to pass the bill. And that, I don't think, is a demonstration of a political party that has the government, that has the country at heart. But then, let's go back. During the electioneering process, during the campaign time, Attoforsen said that we don't need to bring more taxes to generate revenue. Those were the words of Attoforsen. On May 3rd, I think January 3rd this year, John Dramani Mahama said to the public that we have averted the looming doomsday crisis.
Yeah, January 13th.
These were the words of John Dramani Mahama.
Sure.
John Jenapo came that he told the people of Ghana that there is no doomsday in Ghana. Now, fast forward, about some few months forward, you come back and then tell Ghanaians that we need to bring a levy in order to support doomsday. So I ask myself, which doomsday are they solving? The one they said they've averted, or there's a new doomsday looming? So this is a political party that claims to have the intent and the best intent. Of course, they lied their way to power.
You see, Charles, where are you? You can call it.
They lied their way to power.
Charles, Kofi is slaughtering you.
Without, you see, I think one of my professors in the university, he said something that if somebody lies about something, leave that person to time. Time will expose you.
Sure.
You understand my point? Time will expose you. Now, they said that, I don't know whether you heard this, that they said Dr. Baumia was the one selling guns to people in Boko.
Yeah. So I address it, say, oh yeah, thank you, Tony. He had to address
Today, the fight is still going on. Is Dr. Baumia still in power?
Say it will not talk that no, and one of the
So look at you. So if Dr. Baumia was the one selling guns to people, why is it that now you are in power? Why can't you stop the war? So my point is that if you lie your way to power, time will expose you. Now, e-levy, it was 1% on the first 100 cities. So what's your finance?
Yeah.
It was 1% too on the first 100 cities. So it means that if you send 1,000 Ghana cities, the first 100 cities, we just take 10 cities.
Yeah, sure.
Now, this is the e-levy. This e-levy, what about this e-levy that this government has brought? It is 1 Ghana city on a liter of fuel you buy. So imagine you are buying 1,000 Ghana cedis. How much are you going to pay? Do the math for our listeners to know. How much are you going to pay? 1,000 Ghana cedis. You're going to pay 90 cedis extra.
Sure.
So this is a government that has the people at heart. We rolled out this. I've forgotten. Tobit. We rolled them out. This government is considering that.
Oh, so you consider electronic way of doing.
So when Dr. Baumia said that, it was a lie. But then because they came to government and they said that this is a proper system when you can use to actually generate revenue, they are going to use it. Really? So you lied your way to power.
You lied their way to power.
Of course.
D-levy, no? It is something they had it in mind.
Of course. You see, you can't tell me that you are not a government and then you don't make forecast. No, you can't tell me that.
Say, they never knew what was in the system. If you don't introduce those taxes.
So you see? Mm-hmm. So then if you don't know what is in the system, you don't criticize what you don't know.
They say that is a problem with every politician.
No, you see, so me...
They say things they don't know.
I am trying to be objective here. Mm-hmm. If you watch I watched Game of Thrones. Jon Snow said that if so many people lie about so many things, a time will come where words will mean nothing to people.
Sure.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So if we continue lying to the electorate that when I come I'll do this, and then when you come and then you do the direct opposite. You understand my point? Mm-hmm. A time will come where people will say that, okay, fine, your words doesn't mean anything to me. So I think it was part of the reasons why people didn't go and vote in the just ended election.
A time is coming. I assure say Ghanaians, better politicians.
Nobody. You see, if the political class, if we don't change how we communicate, if we don't change the modus operandi for our campaigns, a time will come. Nobody will believe in it.
Because I'm so shocked about the way we do our things. At the end of the year, my who say,
of course.
Of course. But it's more or less like.
Of course.
I said Ghana for dear group within a short time. Now we have
we were all here. Okuje to Black went on live radio. He told the radio presenter and he said, if should NDC ever come to power and then they hire a luxurious jet for the whatever whoever, he will resign. Has he resigned?
He hasn't.
Has he resigned? Is this a government that has the intent of the people at heart? So you see, the way this NDC MPs criticize Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Ken Ofori-Atta for e-levy, they have no moral authority to even introduce a levy, to tax the Ghanaian payer 1%. 0.5% is community moral authority. Because if people criticize e-levy, but you see, with e-levy, I side with the Ghanaians a little bit. So with
the D or the e-levy?
No, the e-levy.
Okay.
Why people really voted against us? You see, Utia tax on, it's so direct.
Okay.
Then the send I see, Yansen be taxing a raw. Until the bay, but we know, I'm not for Kuzi, any auto no pump on my betting or pump in Preco.
I think he said, some be better or ye, coffee fuel, no. Say be a tank near be 10,000 gallons, maybe out here 500 million. na oma calculate it is over 580
but
and
you see, at the
590
pump
million.
too, the price will increase.
Yeah, say me di bi aka ho ne de me bus me pump so 90 million is going back in there say me di 2 1
the pump no so increase they are being said transport
transport is going to increase.
A transport increase
now there's another school of thought almost say another school of thought they say dollar number form.
Okay,
the dollar number form no and you must bet it.
but has it reflected?
I don't know much because.
But you see, just before I came.
If I come out with free Ghana, mommy owns a dollar and a bar for.
I mean,
I reflect you on near man. Your friend is now you can. Me Facebook page, me TikTok page. You can send me messages for. I can tell Kofi say dollar and a bar for. I reflect you on. You are taking your maswana.
So you see, people. I just checked the inflation rate in Ghana before I came.
Okay.
And then I'm not going to be pedo-academic dishonest. You understand? From I think January to this month June, it has dropped about 2%.
Oh, okay.
So it was around 21% and now it's around 18%.
Oh, okay.
That is inflation in Ghana now.
Oh, that's Ato is working.
So now, but you see 2%. But as we were saying, has it actually reflected on the people's lives? Has the acquisition of the city actually reflected on the people's life? Just recently, they reduced transport fares.
Matisi atete also Bruno Hafo region. Let my Bruno people talk. I greater Accra for them more lines. Ya atete niema so ana. I just want some message so I tell you.
Me the ministry because in Nebusa for Ghana. And then I'm not sure say ya atete niema so. Ya atete niema so come back at say. Okay. And the way who to kwa na me for na driver for neku. Ya atete lawyer for so no so monte so. So matete so. Into matete so no. Gina.
Na here the me say drivers need sugidigidi say your mama dada omu. We force more to your friend is saying. I know what to fuel.
So now, who's going to bear the cost? The ordinary
Ghanaian, yeah, that's for sure.
And let me see, the funny thing is that these NDC people are on social media saying that it's just one Ghana city, it's just one Ghana city. More coupons no. They are giving full coupons every month to this MPs.
Kofi, that is my problem with politicians. Mati, your friend is saying, me who say, Omo muti presidency has started kasa. Kwesi Prati Bay. I heard her say talking. Oh, it's a more bemono. You all have coupons.
Of course.
You're too adima. It doesn't affect you.
Of course.
And it affects the ordinary Ghanaian now or no DQ so called to abado buy na woji coupon. And they say can be mano. You shouldn't tell them to happily pay it.
Of course.
Obien one and need tax on. And I also believe that the Ghanaian, okay, the Ghanaian need tax and the problem we are having with our politicians, they say tax no motia e die na mo di tax ne ye mayen as a nation.
Tax they say the no bebre at what they say the no bebre. You see if you are being realistic and objective here,
yeah,
our people want development in the pace that is unrealistic. You understand my point? And I don't blame them because we've been there for far too long.
Okay,
you understand my point? But then things take time. You understand?
Hey, so politicians take time.
Oh no, of course. You see, no matter what you do in the next 20 years, Ghana can never be like Europe. Even in the next 30 years or in the next 50 years.
But if our politicians
Ghana can
do the right thing in the next 20 years, Ghana can be more than Europe because we have everything. Kofi, you have gold, you have bauxite, you have manganese, you have iron, you have oil.
Na say e sha say wo sa man na minu ni enwe.
Oh na say koko na na yetu na gold ni dey say ni yetu. They say the gold ni dey etu ni nyina fi asase. And you even develop mine keke mine.
I was yetu ni maybe as say impuntu no e mre. The person
o ka kwa e mre. You this Ghana ka kwa dey o ya no aye ni what you say? Emre na anything.
Debi na say ka na the ka kwan aye wo Ghana e ka.
President Akufo better so 8 years. Ka kwan bi o ye bi o be check na baby da say tutu. What you say? Baby be say tutu am ya abayu so asan ko e bi mu.
E kwan Akufo do ye de menye so say bi tutu.
Kofi
ye de e kwan ye ne papa masa. Ye de menye so say e kwan Akufo do ye.
I have a program on Wednesday. What do I say? I'm going to make sure say these are some of the things I work on it.
Yeah, program, yeah. But you see, that even with that being said, Yenka do live in Assam. And so na John Dramani Mahama, and then the NDC by introduction Ghana for say, Omba tour and a taxi fee on Sound Toronto. And on a year can was say, we are buying now, position. I know I say, I'm a moon at a form.
Oh, said your mama they were bad into it.
Ah, into winning no one can crash the gun for say, oh, you send your money, you see, it. Now, my monk say, I buy no the levy by so bomb chrono. Okas will be the levy by so bokro, that's all do. Those who the levy about. It's yes, you can also be bokro. No,
one can't go.
Oh, so do you want me to read the tweet of John Dramani Mahama for you?
Oh, so I'm asking. I got me viewers need him.
Aha.
So I'm asking.
John Dramani Mahama. I mean, all the leadership of the NDC, this current government.
Oh, okay.
So Atoforsen was allowed on the e-levy. They did the press conference. Someone could have told Blacqua or when the constituency ho. Echo public sensitization on e-levy. Say, I buy the Baba Bomo. Has he done the same? Has he done the same with the levy?
Okay.
So that is the political hypocrisy we are talking about as a country. And what's an opposition? Obeka de o de bia, you can say or you can say all the stuff that you want to see. But once you are giving power, it is a different ball game. A different ball game. A different ball game. Now, politicians and this one, so I must say, is adept. Now, the Danko Kufuor in 2016, okay, energy sector levy debt, so legacy debt number over 2 billion.
Yeah.
In dollars, so. Adan Kwaku found a way to keep the lights on for 8 solid years. Now, 6 months per mobile BMO. So when we start some of them, if you say they are petrol, you do 2 days of worth of food pay. On my catch say ECG a cow. Now a government that has increased electricity tariffs from 14% to fix the supposed doom so is now reintroducing a levy to fix the supposed doom so. So 14% now increasing nobody
is Jinapo competent?
He is the most he is and George. Both of them, they are the most incompetent ministers in this administration. John Jinapo. On opposition and another ding Sam George, opposition and another ding.
Ebi amuja problems or energy sector.
Now they yeah about them 2016. They don't many problems am I. Yeah about them 2016. Or many problems am I. A nation that we took from John Dramani Mahama was a nation in shackles. Into the my another Nanko for the battery was poor. But Joe, official in 2024. Such John Dramani Mahama Nakai also about to raise a foreign reserves of say 8.9 billion. A positive growth on the GDP about 8.2% on GDP.
Yeah.
And this is a government that was attacked by John Dramani Mahama and the NDC that's a criminally managed economy. So if an economy was criminally managed, that would mean 10 points.
Oh, say
billion
in
reserves.
If we are not shadow ministers, per whatever he said, and then the shadow ministers on as Mombe Kacheren. So one of the shadow ministers is Jenapo. In Jebia Jenapona,
you saying to we a penia as answer for who do you manti. You understand? That is why I am.
But so all can be Bima Ghanaian society.
So that is why I'm so worried about the political class. You see, it's not the name and no look at the time is coming. Nobody will believe anything you say.
Same as they say, no. I said the Ghanaian are saying that they want a practical politician.
Of course.
And yet, some book long politicians.
Because
I say,
after, you see, one of my fear for the 2028 election is low turnout. I don't know what will happen in the future.
Okay.
But then if things keep going on like this, on this particular pedestrian, people won't go and vote.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day,
because trust ne come.
Of course.
Politicians ne die.
Nobody will see nobody will see anything genuine. Yeah. You understand? So it is something we have to sit back as a nation and then regroup, rethink, not in some baby as to how we can earn the trust of the public.
Rexoma Bonyumbi. Or say what bejeke. Ejeke what just shown. Aba ye be pipa enim nisuo before we realize omo dey afire enim anymunyam nyina akọ.
So
politicians omo pipa enim nisuo omo pese ye ho toyen anase omo pese omo dey ade soa ebe soan no mo to omo. Kofi, you a politician, tell me something. I wish Charles is here so I could put through that question to him.
So I mean,
because I say politicians say ye ho chire mo dance ye ho betoyen.
If here had the top politics, they are not you said there is true political, objective politics.
Yeah.
So now, say we are finance that you know a little bit of economics.
Sure.
Adam Smith, in his book Wealth of a Nation, he said it is not for the benevolence of the butler, that is why we have wine, nor the benevolence of the baker, that is why we have bread, nor the benevolence of the chief butcher, that is why we have meat.
Yeah.
But for their own selfish interest.
Okay.
You understand my point?
Sure.
So naturally, man is selfish by nature. So if I tell you that I want to lead the nation because I want to do good, practically that is a lie. You understand? Because I want to lead the nation. I mean that is a lie. I want to lead the nation because I want to lead.
I want to make money.
Not to make money because I want to lead the nation, but as to whether my intentions are pure, only time will tell. Now, let's go back into our history as a country. Of all the leaders that we've had, whose Obia was significant achievements be our
Yeah.
You understand? Inti okay sad and I want to mean say sad and the panier and no benefit. You understand my point?
Sure.
When Kwame Nkrumah constructed the motorway, it wasn't benefiting Kwame Nkrumah. People were using the road.
Now they are using it.
You understand my point? When Kufuor started free maternal health care and national health insurance,
The Iribianco.
and then the Libyan Okoho. You understand my point? When Adan Kufuor started free senior high school, and yet on one man be. You understand my point? So politicians are in to actually care for the people. We are not there to milk the tears of the ordinary Ghanaian. But rather we are there to wipe those tears away from them. But the way and manner within which our people are here, what about Ubeje the same? Maybe the MP Bakwa. So Kunukum. No one first almost be 100,000 Ghanaians in the Sankwa. Untiminko. Because the people are so dependent on the politician that MP also Bobon Sasi, MP also Bobon Sasi, MP also Bobon Sasi. You monetize politics now to the extent say Sinipano Kono Moko onye Bibia from Mana. You understand my point?
Sure.
So if we want to develop as a nation, we also have to change our ways.
As politicians, no. As a politician man, no create deal anymore.
Of course,
because I don't mean let the ordinary Ghanaian knows
and written an
very difficult.
And written an for na pumu adian. We do catch MP ba obey catch in plane. Say MP na ekwan. But ordinary Ghanaian no catch say MP na ekwan. Onko to abama wo.
Yeah.
Because on person will cut the be anything.
And he says, "Don't mama that man for no Abetana power."
That's why I'm saying that the NDC lied their way to power.
So what is your advice on this D levy? Omun come back, no mun sanko you man now said they should maintain it.
For me, I think it is a cruel tax on the ordinary Ghanaian, on the ordinary consumer, because all the political class, they will be a coupon, they will be a fuel allowance. Into one kotopu no pump nibi, Emma no kotono, Uncle for trotro, Emma yenteno, yen tubu nim, Emma nim Philippi. But I may no me, maybe I may add on not to call them caprano, no quaco adena, you could be say, yeah, for a particular brow. I don't know what to be Philip Price. So the NDC should go back and then promise to deliver the mandates that they said they will deliver to the ordinary Ghanaian. As of Watson, on the floor of Parliament, Kachi say you don't need to bring more taxes in order to generate revenue. The inefficiencies in ECG. That was those were John Janapo's ways. Yeah. The inefficiencies in ECG could actually suffice for the debt in the ECG. What will electricity tell you? 14%. SR the levy. SR. But do you want to kill the ordinary Ghanaian? Do you want to kill the ordinary Ghanaian? So the government should go back and then find proper ways and means in order to generate revenue and also solve the inefficiencies in the government.
Okay.
But what I say, I mean in ECG. So I think it is a time where our people should also be learning to accept privatization.
Okay.
I don't know whether if you actually realize that Ghanaians have this notion towards privatization. Say, privatize be a say like but if governments continue to hold on to some of these things, anytime be a at a loss.
Okay.
That is why I was so glad when the government sold 70% of its shares in Ghana Telecom, or the private entity.
Okay.
You understand my point? So if we don't develop a positive culture, positive attitude towards privatization, always be a behind how on the because I know we wasn't combining privatizing private individuals managing the sector of Ghana can sure senka a loss.
Because I believe that electricity a lot of waste in
the system. It is true.
Waste no system
illegal connection on the part of Ghanaians now Dawson into when me collect sad debt in now Obaka now was buying the facano but the private entity won't me MTN. So could we MTN credit? What go You understand? Into the private entity, you be a customer, baby, come.
That's a Stop Politics on TopAfric, streaming live from Hamburg, Germany. I'm here with my friend Kofi, the man from MPP. Charles at the moment is not with us. I think said no indisposed. He's going to be with us next week. But I have a new show coming on.
Wednesday, yes.
This very Wednesday. Ebeye Dios. I'm going to say the things as it is, because I am one person who believes that I didn't see the TNYNK. So next week Wednesday, I'm going to be here TopAfric on topical issues. I'm going to correct the narratives. I know that there are a lot of things in the system. Among for jading so yes and you nima be breso system nima among for yin so eso bujidi. Who is to say it?
What about junior become
Genau. So I'm going to say it as it is. So about research, I'm going to sit down, go through everything I need to research, and I'll present it as it is. Meaning, so a lot of people will be hurt. A lot of friends will call me and they'll get angry with me. But I'm not serving you. I am serving the nation Ghana. Until next week Wednesday, catch me here on TopAfric as I deal with issues. Next week, Paragraph Anna a line so he's going to connect me direct. I'm going to connect him direct from home, Ghana, and he's going to say the things. I'm going to put all the questions to Paragraph. God know a government spokesperson on a lot of things, so I'm going to ask him the necessary questions. Into a question, be able to Paragraph, please get to me, send me the questions, and I'm going to ask him. Kofi, yeah, end the show, no. Yeah, end the show, no. What do you think John Mama should do now? Because I said, I don't know, or a lot of goodwill, and then I was following YouTube, I was following TikTok. I think it's a nipa bibri abemu.
I am, to be honest with you, Yuki, for me, I knew right from the start that this government is the most clueless government in the history of the Fourth Republic. Why am I saying so? Because they are populist. You understand? They are concerned with the optics more than doing the actual work. You understand my point? So what John Dramani Mahama should do is that he should actually go back to the drawing board, find people who can actually reason better, come up with a proper solution, and solve Ghana's problems. You understand my point? But then before we go, there's something that we need to address. You see, the last time my good brother Charles was here, and then he was trying to tell us that whatever was happening to Bernard and Chibosi Akun was not political persecution.
Let's do it in the next 5 minutes, because Matisse Fanti Comedy. There's this guy on TikTok, he call him Fanti Comedy. I don't know, say Matisse he has been arrested or so. So what is happening with the security system?
So what is happening is that they want to instill fear in our people.
Oh, okay.
But
Rollins couldn't do that.
I mean, so some of these, even Kwame Nkrumah couldn't do that. You understand my point? So whatever you do, you can arrest all of us. But then if you can't kill us, if you can't kill the spirits within us, there's nothing that they can do. Now, the last time I brought this up, you were here. Has Anne Sansadeli been persecuted? Has she been persecuted?
No, she hasn't.
Why? Because she's an NDC member. So now we live in a state where we practice selective justice. Fancy comedy. Somebody who's just a social media commentator.
Process rule.
Somebody who's just a social media commentator for the New Patriotic Party has been arrested because he was commentating for the New Patriotic Party. Is this the kind of Ghana that we want to build?
So we are
quick as in be a yanka and on watching it too without bill. Now assembly a yanka on Ghana who being Kebida. Where Enra, what I chief before the assembly court. Emma as court in the assembly go came tell papa.
Yeah.
Came tell at America Honor, ne basement. The DJ Jatem, just because he feels his party is in power. So he can disrespect. No, you see, but here we don't do that.
Okay.
It is because we have so much respect for the democracy we have in our country. You understand? You can't just stand up and then disrespect a judge. And you say, almost as someone to me, Eddie Bonnet, almost as a fancy comedy Eddie Bonnet. They should prosecute them. They should allow the procedures of the laws to work. You don't take the law into your own hands.
Now, we are sure say national security neza. Now, it's a obi or time fancy comedy now. Ako in a view because
no.
National security.
These people, we know them. And then you say anyway you will be down. We are preventing detentive act. PDA. Kwame Nkrumah side JB down common founding fathers of the New Patriotic Party could go to prison. It didn't kill the ideas of the New Patriotic Party. So it is not John Dramani Mahama and Richard Jackpa, national security, and a Becky any ideas. I don't know to quest Boku, I won't compare to Quano. National security and to quest Boku means Mukopata Bokon Tokano. But people for don't meet much cheer. So now where our country is heading towards is really a dangerous line. And so I see the issue. There be ana makuma ability for it because now what the president that John Dramani Mahama is saying is that the office of the chief justice should be coterminous with that of the president, because whoever becomes president, if in the end people would actually do, I mean, if not, or the most plausible explanation would be that he also terminates the appointment of whoever becomes the next chief justice of the Republic of Ghana. So we are told towards the dangerous line, and then we should be very careful as a country, because our stability, our democracy, everything, the democracy that we have in Ghana, the judiciary is our backbone. So if we continue to mess with the judiciary, history should be our guide. Says Uncle for me and Sana, or more bastards with Muko and him. Ebia, a movie, dear, me and Musa, but I mean, who be dear. But history has it, 30th of June 1982. Justice for the Pokusa Accord, Justice Cecilia Quantan.
New Sabani away.
And Justice Kwabineti Japan.
Yeah.
All of them captured, measured by the PNDC regime. And to date, that has been our history as a country. It remembers us of a dark past that we don't want to go. So, and then for almost 30-something years, with me established the Republic in Uma, we should protect that democracy with everything that we have. You understand my point? So, John Dramani Mahama, this government office will be the most, I don't want to use useless, but then they will fail abysmally. Were you not here when Sam George said that it was Eslo who was increasing data prices?
Sure, I know, I heard it.
Wasn't Sam George who said that Akufo-Addo could use 2 weeks to end galamsey? So why hasn't John Dramani Mahama used 2 weeks to end galamsey? Why hasn't John Dramani Mahama used 2 weeks to end galamsey?
So we'll come to them.
Why are data prices still high?
They're even now higher.
A sector minister who could chase MTN for support for the foundation of his wife, but couldn't chase MTN to reduce the prices of data. This is a sector minister. Who closes a whole embassy and then announces it on social media that have closed the embassy one day after each and then who opens the embassy? Populism government. So the populism of this government will be less full. You understand? And then I'm not being a prophet of doom, but we are simply enforcing our global star. If
you are not, if you are not, catch me again next week Wednesday. Unim, I'm going to say it as it is. What unim otabe, you know it. I said I'm going to say it as it is. Make Kasama the ordinary Ghanaian. Asama edawa kuma so awintimi nkano. I'm going to speak for you, devoid of insult, devoid of what I'm going to do is maybe can see the tie. Ama ye krom o man no esese e ho toyen. O megina ha enka we na echina ubenya aban a ubetana be ma meka foforo. I'm going to be on their toes till they do the right thing. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that on Wednesday, I'm going to correct the narratives here on TopAfric. Catch me again next week, Saturday, again here on Top Politics. And I know next week, Charles, Kofi is also going to be here next week. So catch me again next week, Wednesday. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.